this was not an easy role for him, and you recognized something in Hackman that profoundly affected his performance in the way that you directed him.
Gene wanted to be in the film very much, but he had no idea how far I was going to take Egan. And Gene was born in a small town in Illinois called Dundee, Chris. And Dundee had been a Ku Klux Klan town in the old days. And it was a blue-collar town. And Gene's father had deserted the family when Gene was very young. And so Gene grew up disliking authority, and he disliked racism. And he felt, when I sent him to go around with Eddie Egan, as I did, he felt that Egan was just a racist, and he didn't want to go there. And I recognized this, and I knew that even though I was the youngest guy on the set, I was the authority figure on the set. And so I worked with Hackman in a way that I've never worked with anyone else. I knew I had to get him angry. And so it's really embarrassing. But I would say things to Gene like, we'd do a shot, and I like one take. I love one take because it's so spontaneous. And Gene wouldn't go the distance with Hackman, with Eddie Egan. And I would, instead of saying cut, I would say, oh, Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? I would say, pal, you better get a day job, you know? You better look for something else because this isn't working out. And he actually quit the film on the second day. And his agent, Sue Menger, said, well, that's fine, Gene. If you do that, you'll own the picture. You know, you will own everything they've spent. So Gene stuck around and stuck it out. But I would get his anger to a point where he would finish a take filled with rage and then walk off the set for the rest of the day. And that's exactly what I wanted, you know, including him walking off the set. Because at a certain point, he knew that that's the way we're going to do this guy, you know, as a guy who used the N-word and the G word and the S word and everything else and slapped around suspects. And that's what police work was then. And Gene never enjoyed doing that, but he just did it so damn great. Yeah. And don't think for a moment that I'm telling you that I coaxed this performance out of him. What a director does is try to provide a mood, an atmosphere for the actor to do their best work. And sometimes, I don't know if you've ever had this, sometimes it's a question of conflict. Yes. You know, I remember reading how Stanley Kubrick got the young woman who was in The Shining. What was her name?
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. He would get her crazy.
Yeah.
You know, he would make her do it again and again and scream and yell at her. And Kubrick wasn't like that. But he did that with Shelley Duvall. And she gives what I think is a terrific performance under those harsh circumstances. That's not the way I recommend working by any means. And, you know, it often leads to a crack in the jaw, you know. But Gene just stuck it out and held it together, and he had the chops. And he delivered in a way that I couldn't even ask.